Welcome back to the Coins and Connections podcast, where we explore all things books, business, and bullshit. My favorite bees. I'm your host, the fairy coin mother, Cinquanta Cox-Smith of www.cinquantacoxsmith.com. Now let's get into today's episode. Hey guys, welcome back to the Coins and Connections podcast, episode 137. It's a full episode today. We're going to go through all of the rapid fire questions, this huge topic, and Q Money Bag start of the week. Thank you guys for sticking with me in the new year as I try something a little bit different with the mini-sodes and the full episodes and actually only doing episodes. So it's not a shock because this is kind of how I ran my podcast when I very first started. But I have, like I've told you guys before, been enjoying a little bit more time behind the camera. I think just showing up here on camera with the full podcast episode once a month is helping me just adjust to not being the face or just everywhere. And in return, that's kind of hindered me a little bit with my YouTube channel, because even though I decided not to publish 3 times a week over there, it's been a struggle for me to show up 2 times a week. I did write a post on my YouTube channel recently, and I'm just gonna read it just to tell you guys like where my head is and how I was feeling when I wrote this post. I'm normally super transparent just about with everything. I wrote on YouTube, it has been extremely hard to come up with content ideas lately. I'm having a huge brain fog. I've been dedicated to uploading and creating content on my YouTube channel for 2.5 years consistently. I think I've reached a minor burnout or a creator's block. I'm still working, but just not as hard on channel content. I'm trying, but I don't want to force or fake it. I'm not that person. I promise 2 videos every week, but I may only have 1 to give in me right now. I'm frustrated with myself, but I wanted to let you all know what I've been feeling. I'm still replying to comments and stuff. I'm giving myself grace, but don't worry, I'm not abandoning you all. I have a new podcast episode that's releasing on Friday, and the video audio should be coming on Saturday. I've been doing more digital art and creating for my print-on-demand businesses, and that's what has made me really happy. Here is the new candle label for my February digital art collection. And then I just posted that picture of the candle art. I'm really like throwing myself into my Etsy shop. It did not do so this past year. I think I got less than 100 orders, and that was kind of mirroring how my orders went my very first year on Etsy. 2020 was amazing, and 2019 was pretty good as well. I think it just threw me for a loop. Now, my other Etsy shop did really well and it's consistently growing every year, but I really want to get back to Coins and Connections and truly focus on creating things for that brand. Also, we're less than about 400 subscribers to 10K. I want to do a little disclaimer because it is Saturday and I'm recording. My husband's in the garage playing music. My kids are probably doing whatever. So if you guys hear any music in the background, that's what that is. It's a lot going on. It's a Saturday. I felt good. I put some purple in my hair and I actually curled it. So I felt good. So I was like, wow, I feel good. Let me go ahead and record. We're going to go ahead and jump into this episode. You know what time it is. It's time for our rapid fire questions of the day. The rapid fire questions of the day. The first one is a last book you listened to. I really want to say Will, but it's not. I actually listened to a book called All I Want for Christmas. I cannot remember the author, but I can jump on my Audible app really quick. The author of that book was Michelle Simpton. It was included in the Audible books. It's All I Want for Christmas. Really cute story that I listened to. I normally always just listen to audiobooks now. I try to read, but the sound and if it's a good narrator, that's kind of pretty much what I do. I really did enjoy Will Smith's book, like the entertainment of it all, his story, how he became the way he is. It was a really amazing story. Even though the media focused on his marriage, that book glossed over the little part of his marriage. It really wasn't what the media made it to be. It was a really great story. Our second rapid fire question of the day is, Have you been in a spelling bee? And I've actually been in a few in elementary school. I don't know why. I think I was really good at spelling. I'm probably still pretty good at spelling. Now I realize that as we get older, the easy words are the ones that start to trip us up. And I don't know why. Like, we can remember all these long words like encyclopedia, perpendicular, and things like that. And then we get here and we're like, oh my gosh, how do you spell opinion? Is that like just a part of getting older? Let's go ahead and get into our topic today. Today's topic actually aligns with my February digital art collection, and it's called I Will Always Choose You. Even though it says I will always choose you, I want to let you guys know that the you is you. When I say I will always choose you, speak it to yourself as in I will always choose you. I will always choose me. Whatever way you want to say it, but as in the you, I am the you that I'm speaking of. The you is me. Sorry, I can no longer put your needs before my own. And that is the quote to go ahead and start it off for today. I have 10 different reasons and quotes and just things that we'll talk about why you should continue to choose you and what type of benefits that it'll have to make your life better and give you a better quality of life and just to be more positive and self-aware of yourself. Our very first one is choosing yourself means living your life for no one but you. So that means the choices that you make, the moves that you make is for you and no one else. No one can tell you that that career path that you're going on isn't for you. You know what you want out of life and it's up to you to go get it. Choosing yourself means you are deciding to maintain positive vibes around you and not allowing negativity in. This is big because when I think about wanting positive energy around me, I've gotten to this place through therapy, noticing that I was allowing people to make me feel like I had to sit through negative situations, even though that's not what I wanted to do. Those were not the situations I wanted to sit through. Those were not the situations I wanted to entertain. But I allowed people to make me feel bad for not going into those negative situations. And it really did not create a good quality of life for me. It made me angry, it made me frustrated, it made me bump heads with the people who wanted me to be in those negative situations. Choosing yourself means to set standards in your life. Now, for anyone who may be single, standards is something that you're probably consistently dealing with when it comes in the dating world. You set a standard of the type of man or woman that you want to be with, and you want to stick by that. This is one of those things that I always say that you should not ever back down in the standards that you set for yourself. If the person isn't meeting your standards, bye. And that goes for marriages as well. A lot of times people stay in marriages for the kids or for whatever reason because they feel like they can't do it by themselves. If this is the standard of life that you want and the person that you chose to be doing life with is not meeting those standards or those expectations that you initially had, something needs to change. A conversation, therapy, or you need to just let it go. One of the biggest things about choosing you is you can always trust and depend on yourself. I am big on this. Before I ask anybody to do anything, I try my hardest to see if I can do it myself. It is really hard for me to ask for help only because I've been let down a lot. When you're let down consistently, it's like to the point where you have no expectations of anyone, and you know if you really want something done, it's best that you do it yourself. Ooh, this is a good one. You find out that not everyone deserves to be in your life. We all have those leashes. They're around for a reason. They're around for a season. They're around for the new word, clout. Okay, so if you ever encounter someone who seems to just be there to take, you need to let them go. They do not deserve your aura or your energy. Bye. Remember, you are your biggest fan. I'm gonna just leave that one there because there's nothing else to follow up. You are your biggest understand. This one is deep. You are in control of your happiness. I know a lot of times we like to tell people, oh my gosh, you make me so happy. I love you because you make me happy. When I'm with you, you make me happy. But true happiness is defined within yourself. What is it about you, your situation, and the way you live your life that brings you pure happiness? If you cannot make yourself happy, you cannot make anybody else happy. If you're not 100% happy and confident with yourself, it's going to be really hard to go out and do that for someone else. So I want to say I agree, but also disagree with this one. It says you will never give up on yourself. And I feel like there comes a time where we're at our end of the road and we want to give up on ourselves. A lot of times we don't, but there are some people who succumb to that end of the road where they do give up on themselves and they lose all hope. So there is like two sides to this story, but if there's ever a chance or a little glimmer of hope that you don't want to give up on yourself, fight till the end. Our last one is to take pride in yourself. Take pride in the things that you do and the way that you carry yourself and the way that you show up. All you have is your name, like really and truly. Once your name is tarnished, a lot of times you have to fight to get that bad stain off of you back. So all you have is your name, your integrity. You want to continue to have that pride in yourself and in whatever you do. Again, like I said, this is also the theme for my February digital art. I would love to align each podcast with the themes, but I don't think every single one will work out like that. But I will be mentioning the digital art collections in every episode, and I'll be doing a full unboxing of all of the products every single month. If you guys have not seen the January digital art collection unboxing video, I'll make sure I leave the link down below, and I'll leave the link for you guys to go ahead and purchase anything that you would like out of the February digital art collection. I did recently do a video as well about Patreon, so I did bring my Patreon back. I've been working super hard on it. If you guys want to join me over on Patreon, I'll definitely try this episode to leave like a 2-minute bonus clip of the Patreon episode for you guys. That just gives you a little glimpse of what's going on over on Patreon as well. This segment is called Q Money Bags Thought of the Week. Our Q Money Bags Thought of the Week comes from some information I found over on BuzzFeed. The title of the article was, Boomers are sharing things that Gen Zers and Millennials will never understand. And it's mostly true. But in my case of a down south millennial, I remembered a lot of those things that they talked about. I am going to share 3 of them. One is calling the movie theater to hear the recording with the movie's times on it. I remember this. At one point in the town that I lived, there was one really small movie theater. But other than that, we used to have to go to the Merle's Inlet Mall to see a movie. And you would definitely have to call to see what the movies were playing. You would have to sit through every single one to find the movie and the time that you wanted to see it. I would have a pen or a paper to write that down. And then another thing about that, we couldn't buy tickets online. I can remember a few instances where I showed up at the movie theaters and the movie was sold out. I couldn't see that actual screening at the time. I had to either go to another movie theater or I had to wait like an hour for the next show. We couldn't have that option of going online and buying our ticket, not until like later on. I don't know if it happened maybe later on in high school, after I got out of high school, but we definitely had to make do with what we had. Number 2 is waiting for your favorite song to come on the radio. You would call the radio stations requesting a song just so you could tape it. So back in high school, we had 98.5 Kiss FM, and they had the top 9 at 9, or you could call and request a song. I've gotten through a few times where I would call the radio station, I would request a song, I would get to say that the number 8 song was XYZ. So those were really fun times in high school. And in my room, I actually had a record player with actual records, and I actually had a boom box. Back in the days, if you're not a millennial, we had these big radios, right? They were like this tall. They had 2 cassettes. They had the radio dial, and then it had like a little digital screen if yours had that. It might have had like the radio dial, or it had the digital screen dial. The hack was, because my dad was a music guy, you would take a tape, especially if you've already recorded on it, or if it was a regular cassette tape, you would take the luminol and stick it in the little top part of a cassette tape to be able to record over it. On the boombox, it had the record button, so it would be like you would press down 2 of the buttons. I can't remember exactly which ones it was. You would press down 2 of the buttons to record over the tape. Man, the struggle was real, and the things that we had to do to get it done. And even before like CD players truly came out, how we used to have to take like the little disc thing and connect it to the CD player. Oh my gosh, this is bringing back so many memories. Like, you would take this, it was like this thing that it was like a tape you would stick in, and then you would connect that tape to the CD player, and or you would turn the dial to a certain, oh my gosh, there's so much. There's just so many things and tricks and things that we had to do. Like, you have to catch the right station to play the DVD from the DVD player in the car. Man, we had to go through some stuff. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are listening, because when I look at, you know, the age range, a lot of you guys are going to definitely be like, oh yeah, I remember that. So, and number 3 is memorizing phone numbers. Whew. 411, you'll be calling, can I get such and such number? You would call 411 for McDonald's number. It was crazy. Also, I think I still remember my grandma's number. I think the last ending was 1924. My parents still have the same phone number from all of my life. Even though they've moved, they still have the same phone number. I remember a lot of my aunt's phone numbers because it has not changed. Things like that. And I think that's why now I'm really good at remembering phone numbers. But at my grandma's house, she had the rotary dial phone. You would have to take the first number and slide that sucker all the way around, only for it to come back up and you do it again. If I could find me a cute rotary phone that is not like $100, I'll definitely get me a purple one and have it somewhere in my office, because it's just it's one of those things from your childhood that if you got to experience that, you did. Also, I wrote down, dial up for internet connection, and we was on Black Planet and AOL, and then of course MySpace. But I remember being in the hallway on the desktop computer, and in order to dial up on AOL, you had to like hit a button and a little man running across the screen for you to dial up to the internet, and your parents yelling at you because people are trying to call or they need to use the phone and you're on the internet. But when they pick up the phone, all you hear is like, oh my gosh, we went through some things, y'all. Y'all childhood is so simple nowadays if you're younger than me, because you didn't have to go through any of these things. But also, I think that's what made my childhood a little bit more fun. I think we are a little bit more resilient than the new generations, because we had to work harder just for everything that we have. I want to keep those things with me and the lessons that they've taught me. And I think they've made us very resourceful, even though technology is booming and now they have flying cars. Okay, like it's really given the Jetsons. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if my energy feels super low. I'm just like really vibing and wanted to get through this episode today, because all I can hear is boom, boom, boom from the garage. Like I said, if you guys hear booming or you hear the music from the garage, get my husband. So until next time. Thank you so much for listening and subscribing to the Coins and Connections podcast. Don't forget to leave a review and join the conversation over on Facebook and Instagram using the hashtag Coins and Connections. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Cinquanta Cox-Smith and at Coins and Connections. You can shop all merch at www.coinsandconnections.com. I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace. Here's a snippet of our Patreon episode. I can only wish to birth something new, something great, and to be better than I was yesterday. Although this month was not what I wanted it to be, there's a lot of things that did shift personally in my life. And I made that a big topic last year about how my personal life was like just sitting in the wind. You know, I wasn't giving it much thought, but this month, there's no reason for me to complain because my personal life flourished while my business suffered. And there's nothing wrong with that. I can look at it as a failure, or I can look at it as I manifested what I wanted for this year, what I wanted this year to look like. Take more personal time, do more things around the house, take care of myself and my personal needs, and let my business go with the flow. That is what I'm getting from this.